Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the USTC Network. My name is Jamie. If you are a returning member, thank you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I wanted to talk about cheap freight. As an owner-operator, so if you're new to truck driving, you may wonder why is a driver or owner-operator talking about freight. Well, it's because when you become an owner-operator, you are directly linked to freight and how much it costs for them to move stuff. As a company driver, you don't have to worry about that because you have people in the company that get the freight for you. So as an owner-operator, it's my job to call brokers and negotiate rates and stuff for me or my drivers to, not my drivers. I don't book my other drivers' loads. They book them themselves. So it's up to myself to not take cheap freight. One, I'm shooting myself in the foot. Two, when you do that, you're shooting your other owner-operators / companies in the foot. And that's what brokers want, because the cheaper you take freight, the more money they make. Same thing with customers. So as owner-operators, we have to stop taking cheap freight and companies. The only way we're going to get out of this slump that the trucking market's been in for, I don't even know how long now, 3-4 years now, maybe 3 years, whatever it's been. The only way we're going to get out of this thing is if we stop taking cheap freight. Me personally, I think anything below $2 a mile is cheap freight. Excuse me. Now, there are some situations to where that it's understandable. Home time's coming up. You're trying to get home, for home time, or if it's an emergency, you're trying to get home. That's fine. Or if you're just in you made the wrong mistake and you're in a bad area, and it happens. Like me as an owner operator, book my own loads. I don't go below Atlanta, and then kind of that like across that whole south, Atlanta, Birmingham, and on across. You don't go below that because if you do deliver down there, it is extremely hard to get out of there unless you just know of certain companies and you don't even have to worry about booking a load. But if you're just going off load board, it is really hard to get back up out of the deep south. So there are some situations that you might have to dip below the $2 a mile. And I know a lot of owner operators don't. They won't even haul for less than $2.50 or even $3 a mile. But see, I can't do that because not only do I have to judge the rate per mile, I have to also the gross per week to make to pay my company bills and personal bills. That's what I tell my other drivers. My goal is to do 220 and above. And if we have to go down a little bit lower for certain circumstances, that's fine. But if you're a new owner or operator, I would say, do your darndest not to take cheap freight. And if that's all you're seeing is cheap freight on the load board, then you're probably looking too far out. I have found, me personally, if I wait. I try not to go more than a day and a half, 2 days out. More than 2 days out, you're definitely shooting yourself in the foot because when you're 2 days out looking, the broker knows they have all the time in the world. So they're not going to haggle with rate prices. If they're waiting, especially a day out, and sometimes I'll even wait day of. If I know I'm in a highly saturated area with a lot of freight, I wait till day of. 7 a.m. rolls around, brokers are coming in the office. That's when I start calling because at that time they're like, man, I gotta get this stuff moved, or I don't know what happens to a broker if they don't get stuff covered or not. But sometimes I'll call day of, and that's when you really get your good rates. And then also, some like I've noticed, I don't know, and it may be hit or miss. Maybe I just don't look enough for it because a lot of times I don't go out west. I try to stay. I try to stay east of Amarillo, and really I don't even go here lately. I haven't even went past the Mississippi, because stuff going out west just doesn't pay very well, as far as rate per mile. So I try not to even go out that way unless you can find a really good load, which is rare. But yeah, it's pretty much about it. I just want to talk about especially you new guys, and when I could become an owner operator, I had no experience booking loads. My first experience was Landstar, and they try to give you some advice, but once you make that first phone call to the broker, freaking you're nervous, sweating, you don't know what to do, what to say, whatever. Don't be nervous, as long as you're respectful and I would say act professional, they're going to treat you the same. Don't be afraid to offer higher than what it's posted for. That's, I tell myself and my drivers, do not ever, if a load is put on the board for, $800, $1,000, I always tell my drivers, you offer, above that. Say that $1,000 load, say that's, $2 a mile, right? Well, I tell them to figure $2.20 a mile and start there, or maybe a little bit higher. You got to kind of read the broker sometimes, but a lot of times I'll go a little bit higher. I might start at $2.50 a mile and then work, because you'll work your way down and meet in the middle kind of thing. Now, sometimes, the broker's just going to say, they can't budge. Understandable. 75% of the time they will budge and meet you in the middle. Especially, like I said, if you wait day of pickup, then they'll definitely budge more because they have to get that thing moved. So, hey, I just wanted to give some advice about, booking loads and stuff. And like I said, for you new guys, don't be afraid to haggle on rates when you're booking loads, especially your first week or two. That's your biggest learning curve for booking your own loads. So don't be afraid to haggle with them. They're not gonna blow up in your face or something. So yeah, just as owner operators, just try to not take cheap freight, and that way we can get this industry back up a little, paying a little bit better, and get these companies, all these owner operator companies are closing out because they can't afford to stay open. So, and that's one reason. So, I just wanted to touch base about that. Other than that, company's going good, everything's going great, trucks are going good. But that's about it. I appreciate you guys. If you would like and subscribe, if you would go to my other channel, the Truckers Lounge, like, subscribe, comment, etc. I'm trying to get that up and going. But until next time, see you guys later.